stopping by the channel. This is my review for Porsha Family Matters. This is season 1, episode 4. Let's get into it. Hey y'all know before I like to get into my reviews, I like to talk about the drama that I see on my timeline as it pertains to Miss Porsha Peach Juice Williams. And this popped up on my Twitter feed, and I just want to talk about it, so let's talk about it. So this page called the Roha Tea posted this this excerpt, and they also posted a picture with the said excerpt. So let's get into it. This says, former Roha producer posted a pic of himself and Porsha at Nene's birthday celebration earlier this week. He also captioned that he produced a scene with Porsha back in season 10 to stop her from looking bad after what went down in season 9. So if you don't remember, season 9 is the season where Porsha and Phaedra were actively going around. Well, honestly, not even Phaedra. Phaedra just never told Porsha to stop or never denied it, that Todd and Candy were trying to assault Porsha in a sexual manner against her will by using, drugs. And at the reunion, that's where we got the infamous meme of Candy's the lies, because it was lies, because all of a sudden Porsha copped to not really knowing what was true or what was false, and she was just going along with what Phaedra said. But really the onus should have been on Porsha, because for you to be in your 30s and to spread such a malicious rumor and not do your due diligence to figure out if that was really what was going to happen to you, but to bring it on the show, you are not to be trusted. You're trash and you're not to be trusted. So this is what this guy's comment was, and we're gonna break it down. He says, I worked with the finest women throughout my career. My career has been blessed with eye candy, and God is good. This little caption right here lets me know that you only helped Porsha because you thought she was physically attractive. It wasn't because you cared about how bad she looked. You just wanted to help her, and you were tired of them making the dumb pretty girl cry. Pretty much. So he says, I remember I produced a scene while being a producer on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I secretly produced a scene with Porsha during season 10 and didn't tell the executive producer. So he a snake. He said they was trying to play Porsha on the San Francisco trip with Candy, and then he added Candy, which I got a problem with, because why you putting her name in this? And I went to Porsha's room and told her how we were going to play production since they were playing her and setting her up to look bad. I wrote a play that would stop her from beefing with Candy. And I had Porsha unexpectedly apologize to Candy during Kenya's fake wedding. And it threw off the entire storyline. It threw off the storyline because Candy accepted her apology and they got cordial on the trip. And the executive producers had no idea I set that up with Porsha. I was tired of them making her cry. Ratings, rats, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Porsha and I held that secret and laughed at their asses to this day about that. Exclamation point. Then she walked away from the show before they could destroy her, and that's sweet redemption. Exclamation point, exclamation point. I love to see them show these people they can move on in their life. A lot of them women will continue to let them destroy their relationships and the images because they need the check. After giving a company so much of your life to the public, you would think they respect you after all of that. All of those, this man cannot write. He said you would think they would respect you after all the years. Not! Exclamation point. You are just talent to those people in ratings. Exclamation point. So here's my thing. I don't like that he added Candy, because why do you need to add Candy? Number 2, if this was really a secret between you and Porsha, why are you telling us this now? Number 3, I guess he's telling us this because he thinks her show is her redemption, because she left it and now she has her show. But it's not really a redemption, because everybody that reviews the show and people who are fans of Porsha think this show is a bad look for Porsha, because it makes Porsha look dismissive, controlling, manipulative, and downright a bratty, and a bird. So it's not helping her with her redemption. number 4, so Porsha was never really sorry for what she did to Kandi. Like, she needed someone to convince her to apologize because she was looking bad. Of course she was the bad guy. She went around and told a rumor that that was defamatory and could have destroyed Kandi's reputation in the music industry and in her own area of Atlanta. Going around telling people that someone was going to assault you and you didn't have any proof other than he said, she said, and from Phaedra. And it was all from Phaedra. And Phaedra never gave you confirmation or proof of what's happened, allegedly. You are a bad person. And the fact that you needed this other grown man to tell you to apologize, you a bird. You're stupid. And that is trash behavior. That is such trash behavior. I also think this man should have kept his comments to himself, because I'm like, if he's trying to be a part of other production companies, I wouldn't trust you, because the fact that you said you're taking joy in the fact that you went behind productions back to rewrite the trajectory of a show, which this doesn't make me feel like the show is scripted. Just lets me know that Porsha was never sorry, and Porsha was too stupid to realize that all she needed to do was apologize and mean it to Kandi. Also, to me, Kandi was dumb for ever accepting her apology, because I low-key wouldn't. Like, you really went around and tried to tarnish my character. Like, if Kandi was going to accept her apology, it would have been in, like, season 11 or 12. It wouldn't have been the season right after what happened, which was season 9. Also, I don't get why he's like, this lets people know that all the hypothesizing and the theorizing that the reasons that Real Housewives of Atlanta has been going downhill is because they protect Porsha. He's letting us know that that's true. That some people in production do protect Porsha and want to protect her said image, when it's like, she's a grown woman. I would hope she would have the wherewithal and the understanding to know that what she did in season 9 was egregious, and she should have been remorseful and repentant when she came to season 10. And this also confirms for me, y'all, that because I was trying to find, like, who is the production company for her, for Porsha Family Matters, but I couldn't find it, because Truly Original is the company that produces Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac, but I couldn't figure out who, because my thing is, I genuinely think that production is pissed at Porsha, and that's why she looks so bad, or like her edits are not good on her own show, because they feel like she was a coward for leaving Real Housewives of Atlanta because she didn't want to deal with the women questioning her about her said relationship with Simon. I also think that if it's not the same production company, which is Truly Original, then this new production company gives no qualms about who Porsha Williams is, and they're just trying to give us the real tea, and her image does not matter to them, because she looking real down bad on this show in a lot of people's eyes. But yeah, y'all, how do y'all think about it? Like, what are y'all thoughts? Like, does this matter to you? I mean, it kind of matters to me, but it does confirm what a lot of people have been saying, which is they protect Porsha, and this is why Porsha was like the fan favorite on all these seasons, because no one's been able to see the real Porsha, and we see the real Porsha on Porsha Family Matters, and a lot of her fans are not liking what they seeing. To be all transparent and honest, because even people who are really huge fans of Porsha are like, girl, you should have never did this show. But yeah, y'all, let's get into this review. Y'all, what the hell is wrong with Aunt Darlene? What is wrong with this lady? She done talked about her Hulk feet. She done caught the Holy Ghost. What is wrong with her? She had me weak this entire episode. When I tell you I have been screaming, oh, she too much. That lady is too much. The episode kicks off where it left off, where it's still the fight between Londy and Storm. you got Lauren with a W just shook, like, oh my God, like this really happening. And then Lauren, which is Porsha's sister, Lauren is over it. Lauren is telling everybody to shut up. Like, if you mention the robe again, just go home. Which I agree with her. And then what got on my nerves is, like, Porsha is trying to act, like, so high and mighty. Like, she even said under her breath, because Dennis was like, I do want my robe back, underneath his breath. And then Porsha was like, I ain't playing no games. And I'm like, well, Porsha, you are playing games. Like, this would not be happening if you had not got with Simon in such a short time, and then decided to, like, smush your family together just so you can have a blended family, and just like that. Like you wanted to be microwaved, like, fast and not oven fast, because it doesn't make sense why you think everybody else should be on the same wavelength as you and Simon. And they're not, because they're not you and Simon. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that Porsha acts like she's not wrong for what she did. Or like she's so high and mighty and she can be so judgmental of everybody else. But she gets on my nerves, y'all. This lady really gets on my nerves. So the shaman lady gets up, but while she's talking, you see Londy and Lauren having a conversation. And basically, Londy is like, because while Porsha is talking, because the shaman lady kind of calmed everyone down. I think her name is like Lena. I think it's Lena, but I don't want to be wrong. And sorry, y'all, I didn't take no notes. So I'm doing this off the top of my dome. But I think it's Lena, but I'm going to just keep calling her the shaman lady. She got everyone to be quiet. So then Porsha got up and was like, I didn't really pay attention to it, because I think everything that Porsha says at this point is trash. It's like, it's bull. It's like bull, because she's like, I'm sorry, but I feel like she was basically saying that she was triggered by the fact that, like, someone took a robe, but this is a serious situation. That's why we're all here. Mind you, if this was something really serious and it just wasn't for TV, y'all would be in Mexico, or y'all would be in Mexico for more than 4 days, in my opinion. Or y'all would have been up in Georgia or Atlanta, and y'all would have probably found like a cabin, because there's wooded areas with large, like, nice, really cabins where y'all could have did it in the woods like that. And y'all would have been there longer, since y'all are trying to have like this quick therapy session, but not everybody is on board. So Porsha gets mad, and at this point I slightly agree, because Londy and Lauren are having a conversation while Porsha is talking, and basically Londy's like, do you want to talk or do you want me to talk? And then at this point, I think Londy said, and I think that's what Lauren was saying to Londy, and Londy was saying, no, at this point she said, at this point, I think it should be a private conversation. Simon looking like a deer caught in headlights with all of this going on, kind of like, what did I get myself into? And then Londy's like, I want to have a private conversation, because if we don't, everybody else gets involved. So then Aunt Liz says that's really rude, because it is rude to have private conversations while someone is standing in front of you trying to address a group. So Londy's like, no, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm listening. And Porsha's like, no, you're not. So they didn't get anywhere. So it is Lena. I just saw a picture. So it is Lena. So Lena hands everybody, like, I guess it is the tool that you hit the bowl with. And they go around, and she was like, what are you trying to, like, gain from this experience? Again, like the same conversation they had before, or what are you letting go? So Aunt Liz goes, and Aunt Liz is, because I'm going to get to Darlene next, but Aunt Liz was like, I don't know why I'm here, and I don't know why these other people are here, because from my understanding, this is supposed to be family, and I don't know these people. And she was saying this pertaining to Dom and Lauren with a W, because she's like, if this is supposed to be family, why do you have your assistant and your ex-assistant here? And then Porsha's rebuttal was like, Porsha's rebuttal was like, well, me, Lauren have our own little group, and they are a part of that family, so this is why I invited them there. For all intents and purposes, Aunt Liz is correct in the sense of like, if this is something family related, there's really no need to have Lauren with a W and Dom there. But this is a show, and I don't think anybody else in Porsha's family was down for the shenanigans, to be honest. But these two were. Then we got Darlene. Darlene put on a show, baby. Like, Aunt Darlene would say, it was like, she was acting like this was Showtime at the Apollo. Like, she was on The Voice. Like, or like, she was letting y'all know, like, this is her moment. Like, she thought that oh my gosh. So she gets it. And at first, I'm thinking the lady is going to say something like, serious. Next thing you know, she's like, I am learning to love myself. And you know what it is? I have beautiful feet. And everyone at the table is like, what? What's she talking about? Then she's like, like everybody, when I tell you everybody at the table was like, huh? Ma'am. I felt bad for Storm in that moment because Storm looks so agitated and so embarrassed, even though I don't like Storm, but like I thought it was funny. She says, they used to tell me I had Incredible Hulk feet, Fred Flintstone feet, but I have beautiful feet. And one thing, I also want to get close to her. Right there, my daughter. She was like, so honestly, she wants to get close to Storm. And Gina was like, Storm, go ahead and go give your mom a hug, because it seemed like she needed a hug. And Storm was like, I'm not really a hugging type person, and she doesn't want to hug her mama. And I understood. I totally understood, because I wouldn't want to hug my mom after the display Aunt Darlene gave, because she legit was putting on a show for the girls. And I was just like, do you not feel embarrassed? Like, do you not have like self-awareness to know that what you're doing is stupid? I don't know. Everybody in the house is just everybody at the table is just looking like, oh my God. And then it's just like, so then we see Mama Gina get up, and like I guess she is allergic to shellfish, and like they were serving shellfish, like it looked like crab, and like so she got up and she was like, I know some people are gonna think I got up because I don't want to be there, but she's like, legit, like my allergies. And as someone with allergies, like some that can sometimes be severe or triggered by certain things, I get it. But I also feel like Mama Gina could have just said, hey y'all, I'm gonna step out for a minute, like my allergies is kicking in, the shellfish is doing something to me. But for you to just leave the table and you already have a contentious relationship with some of the people at the table, it made it look like you were looking for a moment and you did not want to contribute or be a part of the group. So I understand some people being rubbed the wrong way by her leaving. So then they give Storm the, what's it called? The little thing, the little talking stick. Mind you, Londy and Dennis are over Storm. They don't see it for Storm no more. They don't see it for Miss Storm. And Storm is basically like, she wants to build real relationships again. And this is my thing. What's weird is that Storm keeps emphasizing building real relationships, but the one person that is trying their best to build a relationship with her, which is her mom, Aunt Darlene, it does not seem like Storm is very open to having that relationship. And that's just weird to me. It's like you want closer and real relationship with said people that are there, but you don't want to have the closest relationship with someone who is actively telling you that they want to have a close relationship with you. I just thought that was weird. So, like again, Londy and Dennis don't care. So then Dennis gets the thing, and Dennis is extra because Dennis want to hit the bowl. No, I think Dennis did that. Dennis did it before. Storms did her thing, then Dennis did his, and Dennis was talking, and then I don't know who kicked it off, but I think Dennis had said something to Storm, and then Porsha was like, why are you addressing her directly? Why? And I'm like, well, didn't y'all say y'all need to be open to talking to each other and all this other stuff? But I guess they don't want Dennis to address Storm. And my other thing is them acting like Storm is a child. Storm is in her 20s. If Storm want to talk that ish, then Storm needs to be ready for somebody to talk that ish back to her that's not a part of her family. Because at the end of the day, you are in your 20s. If you gonna run your mouth like you in your 40s and 50s, you can get this work like you in your 40s and 50s from where I'm sitting. So Dennis and her are going back and forth. Dennis is like, you know what, F this. And then he's like, I'm done. Because I don't really have to be here, bro. And I said, I tell you this, when dudes like Dennis say bro, because I say bruh, but I know I have male friends who say bro, and that is like them trying not to call a girl a B, like trying not to call a girl the B word, but they're like, I don't have to deal with this, bro. And it's their way of saying, like, I'm about to call her out her name, get her. That's like, for my friends, that's like their warning to let you know, like, y'all better check her for I check her. So, so he said that. Dennis and her go back and forth. Dennis is like, we ain't talked in 3 years, so what you running your mouth now? Then Dennis leaves, and everyone's like taken back because he went off on Storm, kind of. Everyone's talking about that was inappropriate, and I'm like, no, check your little cousin, because your little cousin running her mouth like she bout it, and she could get yelled at and cussed out too. So then Dennis's Mama Gina, is sitting outside, and she was about to come in, but Dennis got her and said, no, go. Like, I'm tired of being here. Go. And so then, what's her name? Lauren goes out to check on Dennis and Mama Gina, and Lauren is telling Dennis, like, you can't talk to her that way. And Dennis was like, then y'all need to get her. And I'm like, yeah, why are y'all coddling Storm? I think Storm is like 23, 24. Like, tell her to shut up. Or y'all need to be okay and deal with the fact that, like, people can check her when she gonna be coming back and forth with them. So then Storm gets up from the table because she upset. So she storms out. And then Porsha feeling some type of way because the night didn't go the way she wanted. But I'm like, you're the one who started all this drama by being upset about a robe. So I don't understand why you thought you being like, Porsha acts like she doesn't know what she does, but she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing because you started this whole altercation, and now you're upset that everybody else is upset, and then the dinner didn't go the way you wanted it to go. So then we see them kicking Lauren with a W out her room, and because they're giving her, because I guess Lauren had her own room, so they're moving Lauren with a W in the room in with Londy and Lauren because Dennis wants his own room and his work has arrived. Her name is Erica. It's her birthday, so he decided to bring her out so they could spend the birthday together in Mexico. I said, okay. Dennis said he's trying to kill two birds with one stone. We did get a little bit of backstory about the situation between Londy and Storm. Londy and Storm have known each other, but from Londy's perspective, Storm thinks too much about herself, and Storm thinks she's somebody, so she does not feel the need to speak to others. And Londy said, I didn't really like her when she was in middle school, and I don't really see it for her now. So it seems like Londy has always had this funky attitude, basically. Not Londy, Storm has always had this funky attitude. They do a flashback of them at Porsha's birthday party, and Londy's like, you could say hi, and Storm is like, I was going to, but she didn't speak. So it's like, okay. Basically Londy's like, I see you, and I know what you are, to Storm. So they kick Lauren out her room. Dennis comes in, and then they're supposed to be having some meditation. The next morning, Dennis is texting his work. She excited, to come see her boo and keep it pushing. So then we see a conversation between Simon and Porsha where Simon and Porsha are talking about the whole situation. And then Porsha made some gross comment about, like, Simon was looking at her and he was like making gestures, I guess, as like he wanted to get down that night. And Porsha talking about, oh, my thighs hurt. And I was like, don't nobody want to know about your thighs hurt, so you can't crawl on top of that gross gremlin man. But Simon basically is over Mama Gina and Dennis. And basically, Simon is like, y'all need to check Mama Gina and tell her to stay out of a grown man's business, i.e. Dennis' business. Which he kind of, I will give Simon one point when he said, if you, about Mama Gina, when he was like, if she keeps getting in Dennis's business, it's going to push him away. And he's no longer going to want to, like, involve her or include her in things. And that is true. So she got to chill. So then the next morning, they have meditation. Only Porsha's dad's side. So we only got to see the Aunt Liz, Londy, and Dennis came. Nobody else came. Mama Gina was still in her bedroom, like reading a book. Aunt Darlene was asleep. I think Stormy was asleep. And then Porsha was like doing her makeup and working on Dish Nation. And then we saw Simon working out. But I thought it was weird that like the people that need the healing didn't show up for the meditation. But then we see Dennis and Simon meet up. They really do like look like father and son. And Dennis basically says, can you tell Porsha that I have a lady friend coming? And Simon said he'll do it, but Simon doesn't do it. Lauren has to tell Porsha at the end of the episode that Dennis has some work that came. A girl came. And then they also tell Dennis before they go to the, I think it's the Siesta. What is it? The Centos? Basically, it's like a sinkhole. I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically a sinkhole full of water. And that it's like a lot of people go and swim in it. But they said she couldn't come. Like Londy and Lauren told Dennis that the girl that came, Erica, which is his work, could not come. So everybody on the bus, they're getting ready to go to the sinkhole. The sinkhole is it's the cenote. Is it the sink? I can't remember how to say that word. They're at the sinkhole. It's 65 meters deep, which means it's 212 feet deep. The guy is telling like the story that basically they used to do sacrifices in the sinkhole. So because they are in Mayan territory and that you might see legs and arms and bones. And Dom said, so we going swimming in a grave site. I said pretty much. But my favorite part of this was Aunt Liz's face. And Lauren with a W's face. Liz looked concerned and Lauren looked scared out her mind. And I was with it. But before they all took a dip in the water, they did a ritual where they were supposed to talk about what they were releasing because jumping in the water was supposed to be a cleansing. So everybody's sitting there waiting, and then they have another talking stick. So Londy is the first one to go. She says she wants to release being angry at others and start to have patience for others, i.e. Storm. Then next is Darlene. Y'all, Darlene got the fake Holy Ghost. She got up and I knew she was with it because the way she was shaking that stick, y'all, she was jangling that stick. And next thing you know, she starts screaming. Like it was like a shrill, like she had got the Holy Ghost. I talked about like she wanted to be closer to her daughter. Storm don't look interested. So maybe and Darlene, Aunt Darlene basically was like, I want to let go of how I hurt and offended people. And how I hurt and offended my daughter and how I wasn't there for her. So it seems like Darlene really was kind of an absentee parent. Like maybe she kept a roof and food and all of that. And clothed Stormy, but she wasn't emotionally available. And Stormy has just created a wall around her. So Darlene was saying how she wanted a real hug from her mom. And everyone was trying to convince Stormy to like hug. No, Darlene said she wanted a real hug from Stormy because she said Stormy basically be giving her mama them church pats or them side hugs, and Darlene wanted a real hug. And the moment Stormy like hugged her, it was like, ah! Like she had caught the spirit. And everybody was just looking at her. And I'm like, do you not have like, is there no like embarrassment meter inside Aunt Darlene? Because she showed her ass. Like it was so embarrassing. And I legitimately felt bad for Stormy because I'm like, I wouldn't want to hug you either if it's going to be like all these theatrics with you off of a hug. So she's screaming. So then after their hug and her fake crying, because she's crying, but ain't no tears coming down her face. I guess she having an inner cry. And then I think the most important one to me was Aunt Liz. But then we had Mama Gina said basically she wants to let go and be more forgiving. And she says that if I have offended anybody here, I am sorry. And I'm like, but you could tell Porsha wasn't impressed. But I was just like, you were supposed to let things go. The last person who got the stick was Porsha. And Porsha was like, I don't need to let go of anything. And I'm like, Porsha doesn't know how to take accountability. It's always, I'm a victim. And that's the issue. When you're always a victim, you never see how you have contributed to the situations that you're in. And everybody else around you is a villain, when honestly, you could be the villain in your own story. So then we see Aunt Darlene, not Aunt Darlene, Aunt Liz. And I think it was deep. So Aunt Liz is legit Hosea Williams' daughter. So Aunt Liz is Porsha's dad's actual sister. And she was talking about letting go of the ghosts of the civil rights movement. And she was like, I thought it was normal for me to get, for a 9-year-old to get arrested. So she was there with Martin Luther King and with all like the sit-ins and the walks and things. And she says, I've seen things, like she even said, I've seen people get beat up. I've seen people get lynched. I've seen people get killed. And she was like, that stuff stays with you. And I want to let it go so I can find out who Elizabeth is. Because I guess, like she said, she's always been fighting. And they showed pictures of like her in 1968. Then in 1969, where she was a part of the freedom fighters. And then in 2015, when she was marching then. So it's like she just wants to let it go and have peace, which I think is important. So everybody does their thing. Oh, but before they all jumped in the pool, Aunt Liz basically was like, Lauren, I think there's something you need to let go too. Because she said when Porsha was talking, I saw your feet curl. I said, Aunt Liz is one observant lady. She is one observant lady. So basically, she's like, Porsha, when she was working with Porsha, she felt undervalued, and she felt like Porsha didn't value the experience that was there. And Porsha doesn't, because in Porsha's green screen, we hear her talking about how she just taking this time to knock me down. And I'm like, no, she's actually telling you what the issue is. And if you were trying to be a genuine sister, you would sit back and listen, because that seems to be always Lauren's thing with Porsha. She does not feel valued when it comes to her role and the position that she plays in Porsha's life. So then Dennis talks about, everything that is important to me is PJ, so I want this to work. So it's nighttime, and they all had a good time jumping in the little sinkhole. Londy jumped off the thing. I thought it was cool. I would love to do something like that. They get to the rooftop dinner, and basically everybody is wondering where Dennis is at. So then Lauren pulls Porsha aside to basically tell her Dennis got some work here. So then Porsha lashes out at Mama Gina. Like, it's Mama Gina's fault that Dennis brung his work, aka Erica, there. And Mama Gina didn't even know about it. Mama Gina was like, Lauren was the one that told her that Dennis brung his work, So they're texting back and forth. And Porsha texts Mama Gina, and she's like, Lauren just told me Dennis has a woman here. And she's like, crazy. And then what's it called? Mama Gina gets it, and Mama Gina just looks at it, and then she closes her phone. And I was just like, girl, she don't see it for Porsha. So then, basically, Porsha is just mad that he got a girl there, and that she feels like he should be all encompassed in this thing with her. But I'm just like, you have your fiance there. Your fiance was supposed to tell you, but he didn't do it. So that shows you how much he is for creating balance within y'all group. So then, like, they're wondering if the girl's coming to dinner, and she's not. Dennis is taking the girl out for her birthday, because her birthday was the night of the dinner. So then all of a sudden, I don't even know how it kicked off, but Londy and Stormy got into it, and Stormy was basically talking. Oh no, Darlene said Stormy's not very like compassionate, or like she shows her emotions. And then Stormy talked about it being an abusive relationship. I did hear on one of the Twitter talk spaces that Stormy was in like a lesbian relationship, and the girl was like allegedly beating her ass, and she got beat down one time. So Londy was like chimed in. Now this is why I gotta call Londy. When Londy chimed in, she was wrong, because Stormy took it as Londy was using her abuse to justify like her point, because Londy was like, so why did you stand up when we were having that argument? Like, where did that come from? So Storm was like, so you're trying to use my triggers or my abusive traumatic situation to justify your point. And I was glad that they showed what Lauren on the side, Lauren W said to Lauren, where she was like, but if you got beat up, why are you trying to beat up somebody else? That doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense because the situation didn't call for you to try to throw hands with somebody. It was just stupid. So then it ends with that. I did like the fact that I think Aunt Liz brought up a good point where she was like, if Lauren is going to open up these old wounds, then she has to be able to close them. And she's like, I don't know if she's equipped for that. And it don't seem like she is. Because next week is going to be the fight. And it could either be a physical fight between Londy and Storm, Dennis and Dom, and then or Porsha and Mama Gina. But who knows, child? Who knows? But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. And drop down in the comments below and tell me what y'all thoughts are. And have a good day. Bye.